Hi, this is David, your host. You're listening to the last podcast where the first shall be last and the last shall be first. If this is your first time listening, welcome. I hope you enjoy the show. If you're returning, welcome back. I really appreciate you listening, and I hope you continue to find tips, ideas, and value that would help enhance your life one way or another. Today, I want to talk about and label this as Get Inspired. We're almost at half point of the year, and this is the time when all the dust has settled from everybody indicating what they're going to do from differently from last year. So we get an opportunity to think. Now we're at half point of the year. We should have made some headway into our goals and what it is that we had planned at the beginning of the year to say that we're going to achieve, right? So you should be at that half point now. This is the moment where all the magic really begins. This is the moment where you start to dig in deep and move a little more methodically toward your goals. And this is the month where your why starts to be more important, and you'll see it surface more to remind you why in the blazing carnations you're doing what it is that you're doing. This is the month you start to break free of the old habits that probably helped you get this far, but I guess you would say, well, why does that even really matter? This is the key right here. This is a year that you break free and enter into your destination without procrastination. Call on the end results if you be, but what you want to do at this point is separate yourself from the pack. It's time that you believe that you can achieve and inspire the extraordinary. This is your time to excel into the greatness that is already within you. I believe it, but it doesn't matter what I believe. You have to believe it. It doesn't matter what anyone else may say. The only thing that matters is what you say to you when everyone else stops talking. So it is time for you to ignite that fire deep inside and fuel it with your hopes, dreams, ambitions, passions, and aspirations to live in your abundance you were destined to arrive at. I have 5 questions that I just want you to jot down and ask yourself. The first question is very simple. You're going to say you already know what you want to achieve this year, right? So from this point on, assuming that it is the same contrast with your goals that you have for this year, what do you want to achieve by this time next year? So I want you to think about that. I want you to say to yourself, okay, this is where I'm going now. This is what I'm doing now. So if I say by the end of the year, I want to be here around this time at half point of next year, what is it do you want to achieve? What do you want in your life to have achieved? The second question, what could I do right now to get started if you didn't make any goals? Yep. So, or even if you've gotten off track, what could I do to start right now, today? Not procrastinate, but start right now, today. And then third question, what can I achieve in 30 days toward this goal? So you're going to have to write down all of these questions, and you're going to have to write down the answers to these questions in order for this to work. The fourth question I have is, what would be your weekly goals? So now you've written down what you want to do or what you want to achieve by this time next year. So you're going to you got to look at where your benchmark is now, and then you got to look at next year what you want to achieve. So try to work yourself backwards. You got to pretty much see it as if it already happened. And the fifth question is, how will you celebrate, or ask yourself this, how will I celebrate my milestones? Write down all those questions, write down the answers, and for this to work flawlessly, you have to be brutally honest with yourself. So after you've done all that, I want you to write down your limitations you have put on yourself, and you have to really figure out what limitations you have. And if you don't know, we'll put that on we put a pin in that. But ask a friend, ask a family members. Just say, hey, what limitations do it look like I put on myself in order for me to reach any of my goals? Do you happen to know? Do it look like I have limitations in my life? And if so, what do you think they are? Or what do you feel they are? Now, this is not something you're going to take and cast in stone. You're going to listen to everybody's opinion, and then you're going to write all that down. And then you still have to do a little soul searching, and you have to come up with your own, what you believe are limitations you've set for yourself. And it's critical. Everyone has limitations, and it's critical that you learn and know them so you can prosper a whole lot quicker. So now that you have discovered your limitations, how will you conquer them is another question that you might want to ask yourself. You know you got your limitations, and those limitations has been set, and it's probably deep-rooted limitations. It's not something that just happened. You probably grew up with a lot of limitations, so you're going to have to start shedding those limitations. And if you have any fears of doing something, you're going to have to start meeting and conquering those fears as well. I want you to do one more thing. I want you to actually write 12 benchmarks. Write down 12 benchmarks or milestones, if you want to call them milestones, that you can celebrate. So if you reached a certain point at like a certain milestone, I want you to celebrate that milestone. And you don't have to do nothing extra. You can treat yourself to a dinner, lunch, or, whatever it is. Buy yourself something to wear. The celebration is up to you. So I want you to think about that, right? You'll have your celebration for your 12 milestones. And you also want to make sure that you look at all the small steps and accomplishments and everything that you've achieved. All those little small benchmarks too, like weekly goals or bi-weekly goals. Hey, celebrate them. Celebrate it with something small. But along the way, make sure your celebrations are there for you, because as we are making goals and following our dreams, we want to make sure that we see that we're on track. So those benchmarks are also to make sure you are on track with reaching your goal. So you want to make sure you do that. And remember, you're human. We all know that you're human, and I know that you're human. So don't beat yourself up if you didn't reach a goal. Those goals are meant to be revised. Not crazy, but they are. If you fall short, that you got a little leeway with goals. So remember this, though, and let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. So always work hard. This is for yourself. And I'm gonna tell you something that I was reading the other day, and I think it is, and I can never pronounce this word. It's in the Bible, in the book of Ecclesiastes or something like that. Whatever the activity in which you engage, do it with all your ability. Why? Because there is no work, no planning, no learning, and no wisdom in the next world where you're going. Now you think about that. Think about if there was a time that you've done anything, or you're engaged in something and you really haven't given your all. Think about that. Because there is no work, no planning, no learning, and no wisdom in the next world where you're going. So make sure whatever activity you engage in, do it to the best of your ability. And, In closing, I'm going to say this. Remember, this is your year to tear down the walls of mediocrity and stand on a solid foundation of your efforts, knowing in confidence you can achieve all that you set out to accomplish. It may not, I could tell you, it may be a very lonely road, right? But that's okay. Not everyone was intended to travel the same journey as you. We all go through pain in life. We feel that we can't go on. That pain will make us stronger, smarter. Embrace it, go through it, and grow through it. This is Dave, and you're listening to the last podcast where the first shall be last and the last shall be first. I hope what I've given you today was a little value, and I hope you were able to write that stuff down and take it to heart, because you got one life. That's it. You don't get a second chance at life. So do what I'm asking you to do, because it's not for me, it's for you. Again, my name is Dave. You're listening to the last podcast. Have a great day and a power productive day. Bye.